Welcome everyone. Now we are going to see about desert plants and its adaptation. A plant suited to the environment, arid regions of little rainfall that often stores water in its tissue or hollow center and reduces transpiration by total or seasonal leaflessness or by densely hairy, waxy, vanished or otherwise modified leaf. The special adaptation of desert plants. Desert vegetation often appears different than plants that grow in other type of environment or biomes. Desert plants grow in one of the harshest environments on earth and therefore benefit from special adaptations that help them to survive. These adaptations enable desert plants not only survive but to thrive in hot and dry desert conditions. Drought avoidance through a short life cycle. Some plants avoid dry conditions by completing their life cycle before desert conditions intensify. These plants usually mature in a single season and then die, but produce seeds that later blossom into new plants. For example, in the Sonoran Desert of North America, 90% of plant species are annuals and many germinate during the short fall season, when a small amount of rainfall is required for germination. In some cases, not all seeds germinate at the same time, but remain dormant and germinate the following year or even years later. Plants that germinate in the fall grow slowly through the winter and flower in the spring, after which they die before the scathing summer begins. The plant life cycle continues through the seeds produced. Adaptations to avoid animals. Since desert plants are usually rare and have sparse population, it is important for them to protect themselves against animals or other predators. As such, these plants have several adaptations that prevent animals from approaching them. Hunger and thirst draw animals to plants, but many desert plants have spines and thorns, such as the barrel cactus, that can harm an animal that attempts to eat it. Many of these plants are also toxic, such as the desert thorn apple, and some are both spiny and toxic. Certain plants also use camouflage as a means to avoid being eaten by animals, such as the Arizona night blooming cereus. Leaf color. Since dark colors absorb more heat, some plants have light colored leaves. Such leaves reflect light and therefore lose less water from transpiration. For example, the leaves of sagebrush, Artemisia tridenta, are light green in color. Waxy surfaces. Many desert plants have leaves covered in waxes or special oils that reduce transpiration. An example of such a plant is the creosote bush, Laria tridentata. Hairy leaves. Some plants, such as the desert ironwood, Olnea tesota, have leaves with small hairs. These hairs reflect sunlight and block wind movement, both of which reduce evapotranspiration from the leaves. Stem adaptations in desert plants. The stem of desert plants also exhibit various specializations that allow them to thrive in harsh desert climates. Thick and fleshy stems. Stems of most cacti and other succulents are thick and fleshy. Such stems hold moisture that helps the plant survive drought. Root adaptation in desert plants. Some desert plants have deep roots. Desert plants like the mesquite have deep tap roots that reach down to the water table to reach water. This root adaptation allows the plant to escape drought. Fleshy roots. The roots of plants that grow in arid conditions are often fleshy and thick, as the roots store moisture and nutrition, allowing the plant to survive dry conditions. These roots are called tubers. Shallow and horizontal roots. Many succulents, such as saguaro, have intensive shallow root system that grow horizontally rather than vertically. These roots are usually as deep as the plant are tall, but not deeper. This root adaptation allows the plant to tap and absorb water from soil across a larger area. In order to allow the root system to spread out well, these species usually grow further apart from each other rather than in clusters. 5 most common desert plants. Elephant tree. The elephant tree is the rare northernmost species of small aromatic tropical family which is extremely susceptible to cold. This plant is found to be grown in Santa Rosa Mountains and southwestern part of Arizona. It is small in size and has thick trunk. It stores water in trunk, lower limbs and wood. Elephant tree produces beautiful small and star-shaped flowers which are either white or cream in color. Their branches are reminiscent of elephant legs and trunks, hence their name. They have an open but sparse crown and grow to the height of 10 feet. Flowers are small, 5-petaled, creamy white flower, less than 1 by 4th inch wide, appear in the early summer. Fruit. An aromatic 1 by 4th inch long red fruit appears in autumn. Organ pipe cactus. Organ pipe cactus is mainly found in the rocky deserts of Mexico and the US. This plant has narrow stems and a small trunk. This species of cactus takes 150 years to reach its mature stage. This plant produces fruits and purple or light pink tinted flowers. The organ pipe cactus is a species of cactus native to Mexico and the United States. This species is found in rocky desert. 2 subspecies are recognized based on their distribution and height. Uses. Organ pipe cactus has predominantly been used as a source of calories and hydration in the desert regions where it has long been grown. Organ pipe cactus fruit additionally offers some protein and essential oil compounds. Desert sage. Desert sage is a shrub. It grows about 2 to 3 meters in height. Flowers of this shrub are deep blue in color with purple bracts. This shrub is evergreen plant. It does not require water once it has set well. The leaves have a strong fragrance, and after a rainstorm, a significant bout of wind will yield a sweet pungent aroma. With leaves remaining during the winter, the sage has the power to photosynthesize later in the year, during fall, and earlier in the spring than many other plants in the arid desert areas. Thick waxy cuticle, unlike other plants, have a waxy cuticle layer in the leaves rather than having porous leaves without a waxy cuticle. This is an adaptation that helps water keep in the plant and reduce transpiration. Smaller and fewer stomata in a plant like sage helps to prevent water loss. Desert marigold. These plants belong to the Aster family. They are mainly found in the southwestern part of US and Mexico. The desert marigold is an annual or short-lived perennial, generally 10 to 30 inches tall with a basal rosette of 1 to 4 inch long, pinnate woolly or hairy leaves. They possess hairy leaves which increase the reflection of light. This lowers leaf temperature and blocks UV rays, making them to survive in extreme climate. The flowers of these plants are yellow in color. Hairs are an important desert plant adaptation because they both increase light reflection, resulting in lower leaf temperature, and they block ultraviolet light. Single 1 to 2 inch wide flower heads grow on the end of stem up to 1 foot above the leaves. Both rays 34 to 35 and disc more than 100 are yellow. Sheep which have consumed desert marigold on overgrazed land have sometimes died in large numbers. According to some reports, Texas has suffered flock losses up to 25%. Horses and cattle do not seem to be affected by the plant. Saguaro. The saguaro belongs to the cactus species. Its growth depends on the amount of precipitation present in the desert. It produces ruby red fruits, white and yellow flowers. The saguaro cactus is composed of tall, thick, fluted, columnar stem, 18 to 24 inches in diameter, often with several large branches, arms, curving upward in the most distinctive conformation of all southwestern cacti. The skin is smooth and waxy, and the trunk and stems have short 2-inch spines clustered on their ribs. When water is absorbed, the outer pulp of saguaro can expand like an accordion, increasing the diameter of the stem, and in this way can increase its weight by up to a ton. Low temperature and frost can kill a saguaro, so they are not usually found above 4,000 feet. Saguaros have pleats that allow them expand when they drink water and contract as they use up their water supply.